What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Tdawgg, or Travis, and today we will be starting a new series that I think will do, or I at least hope will do well, um, to keep everybody kind of updated. I'm going to be calling it This Week in Valorant. So with that, I'm just going to be kind of like skimming over some stuff, some results, some changes, maybe some drama even, just to kind of keep everybody up to date, get everybody's opinion on it. And, I just think it'll be a fun idea. So to jump right into it, the first thing I want to talk about today is the guard versus Optic, man. The upper quarters of playoffs in Reykjavik. Here they are here. And the first thing that I want to start out by saying is how bullshit this is. How bullshit is that the two NA teams have to face off immediately, and one of them immediately goes to the lower bracket. And how I see the lower bracket playing out is kind of like how the NA main event lower bracket played out, where it's going to be fucking stacked down there, and it's going to be scary, and it's going to be hard to get out. So immediately you have Team Liquid dropping to Loud. DRX, I think, will beat PERIPHERALS. I think that Loud does have a chance to beat G2, but regardless of who wins this match, they will also go down to the round 2 of lowers. So whoever loses this match here between the guard and Optic, I think is at a huge, huge disadvantage going into just the rest of the event. It's going to be hard. It is not going to be any sort of easy to get out of lowers and make it to the final. But I guess we'll see what has to happen. I really do think that the guard have the advantage here. As much as I love Optic, I think all their players are insane. I think Chet is an insane coach. I think FNS is an insane IGL. I try to take stuff from them when I can. But at the same time, I think Guard has this momentum. Guard has this fiery passion to keep going, and they are not letting their foot off the gas pedal. I think that Optic does have a better bind than Guard. I think that the Guard has a better icebox than Optic. But at the same time, man, see, it's tough because I don't really know what Optic's ban is going to be off rip. Or, I'm sorry, I don't know what Guard's ban is going to be off rip. They might go with split. I think that the Guard split is a little shaky. I still think it is good, but last time they won split versus Optic, it was very close, and their IGL Valen dropped 30 kills. So I know that the Optic's going to be banning the box. They play no duelist. I don't really like how they play it, and I think the Guard's going to go with split here. But yeah, I'm really excited for that matchup. Now, our next little tidbit here is TSM Rossi versus TSM Aleko. So as you can see here, the tweet was deleted. But basically what this tweet was we did tweeting about how TSM lost to a team named Lennytime, and Aleko kind of typed Raffle under that, like he's laughing at it. And Rossi clapped back with, "Do I need to continue, or are you going to keep being disrespectful?" So he posted a screenshot of Aleko having a bad series here. I kind of weighed in on it, and I just said that it's not worth it. You know what I mean? That's like your brother, because they played on a team together. And he said that he respects me, but he isn't anything close to a brother or a respectable human. So that's a serious take. Aleko responds with, "Bro, why are you talking shit on the timeline? I never once dissed you. That tweet had nothing to do with you." And he replied with, "You didn't laugh at the team losing, question mark." And I can understand both sides. I don't think anyone is right, and I don't think anyone is wrong. Rossi is definitely a competitor. Aleko is definitely a competitor. And it makes sense that, they wear their kind of heart on their sleeve, and, they can get emotional at times, right? They're also both 18 years old. They're both young. Well, I'm sorry. Aleko's 20, but Danny is 18, so they're both young. And I understand that they take this very serious, and I would be in the same boat if someone was cracking jokes or laughing at my performance. I completely understand this, but at the same time, like I said, I do understand Aleko's side where he's not even trying to talk shit. He just thought it was funny because it kind of is funny, right? TSM losing to a free agent team, even though that free agent team was stacked this week. Not to take it away from Lenny Time, congrats to them, but it, at the end of the day, I really just think that it's not worth it. on top of it all, everybody is kind of backpacking and like trying to clown Aleko, which doesn't really make any sense. Everybody's talking about how they're blocked by him and shit like that. Effie's says you should have put him on Neon. He's hella aggro and ranked, which is like just one of the most absurd takes. It's ranked, you know what I mean? Like a pro player is going to play aggressive and they're going to play confident and ranked, you know what I mean? I was in this game that he's mentioning, and I was kind of just I wasn't pocketing Aleko, but I was playing Omen and we were just kind of like running with a blind. And if they can't shoot back, we're just gonna keep doing it. You know what I mean by that? Like we don't need to overcomplicate it. But everybody's kind of weighing in on it. Um, Mocking is obviously impression farming and trying to instigate more. But yeah, there's been a lot of pickup on this. Like I said, I don't think anybody's wrong. I don't think anybody's right. At the end of the day, it's just people going back and forth that are passionate about the game. So let me know what you guys think about it. In the comments below. Up next, I got Gamesense GG. Great company to work with, by the way. I'm currently using one of their pads right now, saying that they're looking to sponsor up to 5 US-based free agent teams with our products, any esport. So I think this is really cool. I think this is a dope initiative. I tagged kind of like my top 4: Nearest Airport, Virtuoso, Lenny Time, Cosmic Divide. I think that all the guys on those teams are great. They're all grinders. They're all definitely worthy of getting kind of like a free mouse pad or whatever the case is. But GameSense does have great products, and I just wanted to take a second to kind of like shine in on this. Showing that I think this is really cool that a company like GameSense is taking initiative to kind of like reach out and like sponsor these teams, because speaking as someone who has been a free agent for the majority of my career, it's definitely, difficult to, keep your head up and make every day count, because there's always going to be something that's kind of like thrown in your way, an obstacle, a hurdle, etc. And when you know that a company like this is backing you, maybe with like a little promotion, right? They give you some, nice quality gear. I think it's really cool. So if you're a free agent team, definitely check out GameSense, whether they're going to sponsor you or not. Even if they don't, their stuff isn't insanely expensive and it's also high quality. So shout out GameSense. Next thing I want to get into here is the Toronto Valorant LAN. So I know my camera's in the way here. Group A, the teams that are being covered are Mark Phillips Fan Club and Ali's Solemn Servants. But with that, I think this is a dope event, man. I really wish I could have went to this event. Shout out Team Serenity. Shout out Glorans. They put this on through Toronto Valorant, which is powered by Team Serenity. And I just think that this is such a cool thing, man. I wish I could go. There's so many people going to this. And, as much as I love all the LANs that I have been to, the Brook LAN, the VCS LAN, the Boston LAN, the Philadelphia one, you know, the Canadians, man. I haven't met any of my Canadian friends yet, and I just have so many of them, and not even if they're my friends, just people that I know that I'd like to meet. So I'm hoping that there's going to be another one of these, in the future, maybe at the end of this year, something like that, and I get to go over to Canada. I think that'll be such a cool experience. But I wanted to just touch in on this and kind of like go over who I think my favorites are. So we have the Marksfield Fan Club, which is Kooky Koalas or Dark Zero, and then we have Glorans and Android. I think this is a pretty dangerous squad. And again, I'm gonna scroll through who my favorites are, and who I think has a chance to win this event. Then we have Together We're Terrific, so the old free agent like Envy roster name. Calypso, Ethos, Gucci, Ziff, and Crit. All these guys are insane mechanically, and obviously in the server when they're on a team. So I think that they have, a very real chance to win that as well. Yeehaw, this team is just funny, and they got a coach. So obviously we got the dynamic duo Roy and Mel, Retro Lynn Apoth. So this is AKA Renegades, minus I can't think of the fifth on Renegades right now. Randy, minus Randy. So Mel will be in for Randy. So I think this is a pretty dangerous squad. And they have, like, the strats and the protocols that they had when they were on Renegades. I know that Royal will call off that. And now we have Dream Bellion, which is KP, Jerk, Rahante, Rob, and Sarah. This is a pretty insane squad. I'm not going to lie. They got a lot of brain power on this team. They got a lot of experience. Great mechanics. I think that this is a sleeper team, but they're still in my favorites. We got Delta 5, which is Stealthy, Weeded, Flipsy, Kohler, and Blackheart. I think that these guys have a chance to do well. This is going to be like a really vibey team. I feel like they're going to have a good time doing this. Kohler, Weeded, really funny. Blackheart, funny. You know, I just think that this team can do well. And then my last favorite here is Virtuoso. And they have, I think, 2 subs for Menace and who's their 5th on that team? Menace and Ellie. So it'll be 3 people from Virtuoso, and then Ron and Okeanos subbing. And like I said, you know, they have some, you know, core people from that team, so I think that they can get the job done there. Now, my next thing I want to get into here is the Nerd Street LAN. So the thing that's tough about this LAN is that there's another LAN going on this weekend. And this LAN is really like up for grabs. So this is an 8-team LAN. When I saw this, I was like, holy shit. I'm not saying this is free money, but this is like free money, okay? 8 teams at a LAN for 10K. We got Exet versus Drexel University, Cloud9 Academy versus Zooey Mama, Complexity versus Nightblood Gaming, and Auction Academy versus Run It Down. I think that this is any one of the 4's signed teams game here. I think that it's just how they play on LAN. You know, are they going to get nervous? Are they going to get shaky? Are they going to be uncomfortable, etc.? Xset obviously has the experience along with Complexity. This Cloud9 Academy roster is new. Auction Academy roster, fairly new. They've been together for a while, but you know they still haven't played together on LAN like that. But they've been recently doing a lot better. And they lost to Complexity 1-2 recently in a Nerd Street Weekly. So I think that if Auction Academy and Complexity meet up, I think that Auction Academy can get the edge on Complexity here and potentially, you know, knock them down to lowers, you know, giving them the higher seed. Just because I think they have, you know, a Complexity's number. I watched some of the clips. Complexity, you know, they definitely had the luck of the draw that game, and I think Auction is, you know, ready to, you know, take advantage of that. And Exa, obviously, our favorites here. You know, there's nothing you can really say about that. Like I said, experienced, you know, driven. You know, they were in the main event of VCT this year. Obviously, they stuck with their top 4 curse, but I think that this is going to be interesting to watch as well. So I'm excited for that. Now we also have our new 100 Thieves roster. So Asuna, Bang, Stellar, Will, and Derek are our new 100 Thieves Valorant. I think this is a really insane team mechanically, sensibly. The only thing they're kind of not necessarily lacking is experience, but I think that it's arguable that experience doesn't have a lot of weight when it comes to the meta of this game anymore. I think it did in the beginning. I think it was very important to have a leader, you know, someone who has experience, you know, someone who can set the practices up right, lead the matches, cool, calm, collected, etc. But I think it comes down to playing Valorant and not any other game anymore. And I know that's kind of like an oxymoron, but you got to understand that it's a different game than it was a year ago. I like this squad. I don't see any agent or role overlaps like the original 100 Thieves was. I think that Stellar is really good on the IGL role. I think that the one kind of hot take that I have about this team is the idea of Asuna. I love Asuna. He's a great guy. He's a great player. He can probably do anything in this game if he sets his mind to it. But I really do wonder the decision to, you know, drop Ethan. I watched the little clip of DDK and Sean Gers talking about it, saying how they really did try to make it work, but the role, you know, crisis, you know, we couldn't fit him in, etc. Austin is going to be playing flex for this roster. Bang is going to be back on his original role of smokes, and I wonder what it would look like if Ethan was in over Asuna. Again, that's just me. That's not a diss to Asuna. That's more of a, I think Ethan fits that role better. You know, Ethan has, you know, started off by playing the smoke flex. Then he went to, you know, kind of like the Sova Sentinel. So he's, you know, he's been around the world when it comes to that. And I know that he's a, you know, dedicated and motivated guy in the server. But I think this is a dangerous squad. I think that everybody is going to, you know, kind of like put some respect on the 100 Thieves name again after, you know, this change. And then the last thing, And this week in Valorant, I wanted to recap one last time on this TSM loss to Lennytime. Now, again, not to diss Lennytime, but this isn't an actual roster. Okay, this is a for fun roster. A couple people have been released from teams. A couple people are on a small break from the team that they are currently playing on, and Mocking has convinced them to play with him in a tournament. And this is that roster: Barracun, Xander, Dip, Jonah Six. I think that Dip is an original Lennytime guy. I think Barracun was just filling. I'm not sure if he's 100% on, but I know that Xander and Jonah, obviously Xander is on V1, and I'm not sure if Jonah is pursuing other options or he's hanging out with them, whatever the case is, after his departure from NYFU or Anbox. But I just think that this goes to show that anything can happen in this game, whether it's a win or a loss, a good performance, a bad performance. And I think that people need to pay attention to that and they need to address it, because everybody is so harsh and everybody has so many of these unrealistic expectations. If you look at a game like this, okay, we can't see the rounds on, Fracture and Haven, but look at this game. TSM wins both pistol rounds and they win a bonus. Okay. The fact that they do not win this game is mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling. You win both pistol rounds. That basically guarantees you 4 rounds. Then you win a bonus, okay? And that doesn't necessarily guarantee you anything. That just puts you at a huge economic and ult advantage, especially starting on this attack side of Haven. And they weren't really getting the bomb down here. So I didn't end up watching this game. I don't think there was a stream for it to begin with. But I just say that this is inexcusable from TSM. But at the same time, I still do understand where they're coming from. GMD and 7 getting added on. They're going through, not necessarily a role crisis, but they're trialing stuff out. They're working stuff out. This was a learning experience. And that's what these tournaments are for. No one should really take this to heart, right? Like they have been on social media with everybody going back and forth, with Aleko and Rossi and all that other shit. This is a practice tournament. There's nothing on the line. TSM doesn't care if they win $1,700. Okay, they don't care if they win that. I can promise you they're getting paid more than your dad, your mom, and your salary combined. All right, they're playing to practice. They're playing to test stuff out. It ends up not going their way. But again, the thing that I want to highlight on is obviously, congrats to Lennytime, good win. But it's a different game now. A lot more stuff is possible. Okay, it's Valorant. You have to calculate, or you have to factor in, the odds of somebody having a game. An example I'll give you is this: Barracun, right? Barracun had a game. You can't really do much against that. Barracun had a game, right? 22 and 14 on the chamber, almost 300 ACS, 175 ADR, 6 first kills, right? If I compare that to Corey, I know that Corey's more on like the rifle role when it comes to this team, but he's kind of your head-to-head. 16-16, 100 ADR, 10 first engagements, only 5-1, right? And again, that's only one map. Obviously, he did pop off this game, which is another thing that, that's kind of like how Lennytime fell this map, right? Corey has a really good game. Mocking, not so much. But here's another great example. Jonah 22 and 9 on the Sage. We can't see the stats. I'm not really sure why. This game was probably restarted at one point, something along the lines of that. But, as you can see, they're testing stuff out here. We're again running a duelist or no duelist comp. We have Corey on a Killjoy, right? So again, congrats to Lennytime. But if you're a TSM fan, don't trip. This is just practice for them. They're just testing new stuff out. They're getting used to each other. They're getting better by the day. But that has been this week in Valorant. Next week, I hope that I can cover just as much stuff. If you have any suggestions, if you have any ideas, please let me know down below in the comments. If it was good, if it was bad, stuff you want me to go over, stuff you don't want me to go over, any recommendations, I'd love to talk about it all. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I will see you in the next. I'm out of here. Deuces.